Hello everyone, welcome to the second tutorial of explaining the delegates, how we can create our own delegates to use the way .NET library uses. So in this tutorial I will basically teach you a basic example of creating a class that stores you a list of integer numbers, and you can sort them according to the ascending or the descending order. And yeah, that's the basic example. You basically pass the method as a delegate to that algorithm to tell them whether you want the numbers to be ascending or descending. It's a pretty simple example, I think, to explain the practical use of delegates. And as I showed you how .NET library uses delegates in string comparisons, this is kind of similar way. So we are following the way Microsoft or the .NET developers, .NET library developers have utilized the concept of delegates in their own code. So I'll just open the same project. So I'll remove this whole thing, and what I'm gonna do is create a class here. The class I will name it as MyList, and it's an empty class. So it's a simple class that I have created. Here I will give it a private integer array. A private integer array and a private int capacity. So capacity is basically the maximum number of values that this array can store. So we will provide this value when we initialize the object of this class. So here we pass the capacity when we initialize the class, and then we initialize a private array, new int, and with the passed capacity. So as simple as it gets. And then what we do is we also need a private, not a private, basically a property length, if someone wants to know how many items we have stored in this list, in our list. So it's just a property, and we rename it as length, and we initialize it to 0. So this is the syntax that you are saying that I have equals to 0 here after the curly brackets. It's just a C# syntax to give an initial value to a property. It's a C#6 feature, so nothing much. Default, I think it gives 0 by default to the integer, but it's my own safety check that I am doing for my own purpose. You can do it, or if you don't want to, both cases are fine. And then what I do is I create a method add that takes the item to be inserted in our array. So to the user it will look like we are storing values. It will actually store values, so it's just like a safety check. If our length is less than or equal to capacity, less than capacity, I suppose, so then only we will basically insert the values. And here we need to increment the length, because we have inserted a value in our array. So to the user it should look like 1, so we will just do ++. And otherwise, if they try to enter more values than the defined capacity, we will throw the index out of range exception. So it's just a defensive programming technique to make sure user doesn't basically does illegal things. And then we will create a get method that will take the index, and here also we will do the same kind of defensive programming check and return if everything is fine the value on that index, otherwise we'll throw the same exception. So now the method that I'm about to create, this is the actual method where we will be using delegates. So first I will do this code without delegates, a simple method sort, that sort ascending or sort descending. So basically if you want to have sort ascending and sort descending without using the power of delegates or lambda expressions or func action, you basically have to create two separate methods and there will be a lot of same code, so it doesn't make any sense to do that. That's why delegates came into practice. So the current implementation that I will do in this tutorial will be without any delegates, and I will add delegates to that in the next lecture, so you will understand that basically what is the benefit of delegates. So I'll just do public void sort and that's it. And then what I do is basically I'll start writing the code. It's a simple bubble sort. I'm not explaining any logic here. It just sorts. You can say that it will sort for you. So I can even copy paste code, like I have this code written in one of my other projects. I can just simply copy paste from there, but when I ever learn from online tutorials, I don't like when these tutors basically just copy paste the code and magically 15 lines of code appear in front of me. So just because of that purpose, I don't want you to feel the same way as I feel. I'm writing this whole code for you guys. Otherwise, nah, I could do that. Just copy paste. It would be quicker and easy, but it's better if I write code and you also get to type along. Otherwise, you have to pause the video for me to complete the code. So here just I'm iterating through the array multiple times, looking for each element, whether it's less than to the element next to it or the previous to it, and then swapping the values. So it's a general bubble sort algorithm. You can go just Google it and you will get the detailed explanations how it works. So yeah, this is the last step, I suppose. Let me check. I think yeah, it should work. So let's start. So we create a MyList object and we provide a capacity of 10, and then we do list dot add. Oh man, don't worry, this will go away. And now I add the values 32, 12, 1, 56, 89, minus 1. And yeah, so what we do is list dot sort and I equals to 0, I less than, it was 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 I plus plus console dot. You should know all these things, basic looping and all that stuff. I'm not teaching you because this tutorial is not about teaching you the really basic concepts. So I'm just running this. Ooh. Length is less than capacity. something is going on wrong. Let me go through this program once again. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. It's a complete mistake on my part, pardon me. Okay, so you see, oh man, what's happening here? Oh yeah, see, now it's working. Something was wrong. So yeah, you see that now it's in a sorted order from the highest most to the lowest most. And yeah, so that's all about this tutorial. I think I will continue this concept in the next tutorial, to basically create a delegate and pass it inside the sort method. So now we can't change the sort method's implementation, whether we want it in an increasing fashion or a decreasing fashion. It's fixed. We have to create two methods. But with delegates, we will see that you just pass the method, just the logic. Basically what we will pass will be this condition, whether we want in an increasing order or a decreasing order, and the thing will work. It's magic. You will see that in the next tutorial. So that's all. Thank you very much.